Hello beautiful people, schöne Leute. Welcome back to my channel, guys, where we're going to be doing a quick recap of the mess that is 90 Day Fiance before the 90 days. And here we kind of talk about what happened on the previous episode with Americans who've decided to find love overseas and their little adventures, right, guys? So we're here to kind of, talk about the whole situation, what happened. Yeah, laugh at it a bit, and yeah, I'm here to give my 2 cents. So what I'm gonna ask you guys to do is give me a big thumbs up in the comment section. Make some comments on what you thought of the recent episode. That was season 3, episode 7, I believe it was 8. Sorry guys, episode 8. And yeah, like, subscribe, and share. So guys, we're going to start off with Rebecca and Zied, yeah? So, Rebecca and Zied, basically, after Rebecca told Zied everything about her, well, not everything, she decided to tell him all the scary things that she, to really test if he's really interested in her, or if it would scare him off. I think that's what she was trying to do. She was basically testing Zied to see if she would scare him off finally. And, yeah, and so Zied is still here because Zied has his intents and his motivation to go to the US, like, yeah, a lot of the couples. And so he's not deterred. So Rebecca still hasn't told him that she's technically still married, as she likes to say, that she's still married. Yeah. However, she says, he knows a lot about her, but she's still not sure she knows everything about him. So Rebecca, they are introducing, well, we've met Rebecca's best friend, or best Judy, and her colleague or work colleague, who is also a PI investigator. And she's telling us that her friend had decided to go ahead and do an investigation on Zied, yeah? That's what she's trying to convince us that it's her friend's idea. And they kind of did a recap of when the friend was like, you haven't done a background check yourself and you're working in PI? So they're making it seem as if it's her friend's idea. I forgot her friend's name right now. So the friend calls her up, yeah, and they're trying to tease us to make it seem like there's this big thing that she had to say. But it turns out that she didn't find anything out, anything incriminating about Zied of such, yeah? He doesn't have a big criminal record or any criminal record whatsoever. But at the same time, she's saying she doesn't see she's not seeing any record of an employment history of any job that he's held while he's been in Lebanon. While he's in Lebanon. And so, yeah, she thinks that's pretty odd and that Rebecca needs to be careful because the last time Rebecca married a guy from Tunisia and he ended up coming to the US, and apparently one of the things he did that was wrong was he stayed home, or he wasn't working. And, so she's telling Rebecca to be careful and not to jump into things like the last time, and to think with her head and not her heart. I don't think Rebecca is thinking with her heart either. I just think she's a special case all by herself. So anyways, they're going out, and, Rebecca decides to ask, she decides to tell Zied that, you remember my friend so-and-so, yeah? And he's like, yeah, yeah. And she's like, well, she actually did a background check on you, yeah? It wasn't my idea or anything, yeah? She did a background check on you, and, yeah, she found out that she couldn't find any record of your job, yeah? And you did say that you work with a television show or television producer, and you helped to organize audience for the show, and she's not seeing any record of that job or any other job that you've done. So what exactly is it that you do, yeah, so Zied is like, kind of looking at her like surprised, like, okay, so you did a background check on me, yeah? Not cool. But anyways, he was kind of iffing and butting, but he gave this excuse that, flied over with Rebecca. He basically said that, well, I'm not on the records because I'm not officially employed. It's just that I do this job for this guy. And, yeah, if you look him up, maybe you'll find him, but my name isn't there. Yeah, so you're not going to find anything with any employment history of me, yeah, because I'm not technically employed. I work for this guy, and he pays me in hand. So there's no information there, on me. Well, I don't know how things work in his country, but you know, that's the story he gave Rebecca. And Rebecca was like, oh, okay, yeah, all right, I'll take that, you know. And she lets him know that, you know, she just wants to be sure that when he comes to the US, he won't have a problem finding jobs, being that he doesn't have anything to show that he's done this job or so before. And he's like, you know, when I come to the States, I can do whatever, you know, I can work in restaurants, I can do this, I can whatever, yeah, and it's not a problem. And she's like, okay, good, because you know, I don't want what happened the last time happening, and both of us need to be working. You know, I can't be the one going to work alone and you're at home sitting. So anyways, yeah, you know, so I said person. The next person is Caesar, yeah, because Caesar has been trying to convince us this whole time that he's a couple, but so far Caesar is on his own, yeah. And the last episode, basically, you know, in fact, the last episode, I didn't even mention Caesar's whole spot in the last episode, because I was like so over Caesar, yeah. The last episode, Caesar had Maria had broken it off with Caesar, because she's basically tired of the mess with Caesar, where he's always, you know, bringing up how much money he's been spending, you know, how hard it is for him to come up with money, and how much, you know, account of how much he's been spending and sending her all this time. And you know, the whole back and forth, and the, you know, so she's tired of Caesar and the whole mess, because he said he booked a flight for her and he didn't book a flight, and he didn't find out until the last minute. So you know, she's like, listen, this guy is obviously a big joker, and from what we can see, she's a beautiful woman. I'm sure she has a lot of options, yeah. So who has time for Caesar's mess? You know, I'm sure a woman like that is looking for, you know, the top of the pick, yeah, somebody who actually can take care of her, and it's obvious Caesar is not that person. So she broke up with Caesar, and you know, Caesar went into this whole tantrum and whole, you know, looked through one of his best scenes where he was like looking really torn up and trying to convince us that, you know, he's so brokenhearted. So anyway, so this episode, yeah, Caesar is you know, basically recalling from the whole thing. He's still being sad, and he's you know, having to deal with the embarrassment, the shame of walking around the hotel, you know, because he's supposed to be there waiting on his beautiful fiance or beautiful girlfriend, who is going to be proposing to there. And he's made a big scene of asking, you know, of getting the room decorated, getting flowers, and he keeps talking about, you know, these, you know, I paid for these expensive flowers, expensive this, I booked an expensive chauffeur to pick her up at the airport. So everything is expensive. So obviously Caesar is over his head, because everything is expensive and he can't afford it, but yet he's still there. So now he has to be going around, and everybody, he had actually booked an expensive dinner, reserved an expensive dinner for them for when she would have arrived, yeah. So now he has to go to that dinner all by himself, and you know, has to inform the people at the restaurant that he's alone. They're like, hey, where's your fiance or your girlfriend? And he's like, unfortunately, she's not coming, you know, she's not coming again. She didn't get to book the flight. She didn't get to get on the flight. And so she, you know, she was upset with me, and she broke it off, so she's not coming. So he's sitting there all by himself, moping, looking like a real poor thing, you know, like, oh, I'm all by myself, yeah. But to us, he's looking like a damn fool, because, you know, who is he trying to convince, really? So while he's sitting around the table all by himself, you know, a couple came over. I guess these are one of the couples that he told at the pool that he was expecting Maria. And they're like, hey, Caesar, where's Maria? You know, with their last minute acting that the producer told them, oh, this is what you're going to do, this last minute script. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope things work out, yeah? So that's Caesar's story. It's as quick as it started, it's as quick as it ended. And, you know, I'm pretty glad that this is over with, you know, because we've been dragged along long enough. However, it seems as if there's a lot more coming up, because just when I thought that, okay, Caesar is finally, his storyline or his fake storyline is finished, yeah, and now we can move on to the rest of the couples, and, you know, we'll have more time spent on the other couples, and it will be enough of him and his, you know, craziness. Because, I mean, who is he fooling, guys? I mean, it's his... This whole storyline has been like a big fake, and he's not fooling anybody. He has not been fooling anybody. So if something turns out any other way, I'd be the most surprised. But based on what I'm seeing on the new season or the new episode that's supposed to be coming up, the little trailer that they showed, you know, he's saying there's something about him apparently going to the Ukraine to meet her himself. So we'll see how that goes, guys. I'm betting that Caesar is actually not going to be making it outside of the US, but we'll see. Yeah, I guess 90 Day Fiance, they're in this thing to surprise us, and you know, just when they thought things were crazy, they keep getting crazier. So you know what, I'm here for it. So Caesar is basically, that's his story. He's frustrated because, you know, the camera keep asking him, so what do you think? And, you know, trying to get him to tell him what he thinks or what's going to happen or has he heard from her. And he's just tired because, yeah, nothing is happening. And I guess he's feeling like a damn fool. So he's running away from the camera. So that's enough of him. The next couple is, we're going to be looking at Timothy and Jennifer, yeah? So we start off with you know, off the heels of Timothy and Jennifer making up. Jennifer decides that it's time for Timothy to meet her dad, yeah, because apparently she grew up with her dad, and her dad is a very manly person, a manly man, and he has always been there for her and an example for her. And so she wants Timothy to meet this man and to get his approval and, you know, his feedback on what he thinks. And so Timothy needs to prove to his dad that he is able to take care of her, just as her dad has been taking care of her all these years. So we start off with them, you know, going by taxi to this place. Apparently they're going to her dad's farm. And they came off a taxi and they started walking through some bushes, yeah, to get to the farm. I'm not sure, yeah, why is it that they came off a taxi and they had to be walking so far through the bushes or through the woods. But that's what they were doing. And Timothy's there, you know, struggling the whole way, you know, trying to go through the bushes. He's like falling down at every step. He's like unable to keep his balance and stepping in cow doodle the whole time and complaining that, oh, I think I just stepped in cow shit. And she's like, oh, stop complaining. Stop being a pussy. So eventually they got to the farm, yeah. He was introduced to the dad. And, you know, right away they started getting Timothy to work. Personally, I didn't get what this whole thing was about. You know, why this whole test of him having to go to the farm. Normally, you're going to visit your partner's parents for the first time. I mean, if they're doing housework or there's something that they're doing and you decide to chip in or offer your help, that's one thing. But it's like he actually went there to do work to prove that, okay, he's supposed to be a man or he's able to take care of the daughter. I didn't get that. I don't see what that proves, yeah. But anyways, Timothy handled it like the typical Timothy, yeah, in his little girly ways, yeah. However, he did it, you know, to be fair, because how many of us have been on farms, guys? I mean, I grew up I grew up a country girl, and I'm used to having a lot of trees around and one or two animals and things, but I never actually took care of them. I had a lot of dogs around the house, yeah. So, you know, I love dogs. But as far as taking care of animals and being on a farm and doing farm things, you know, how many people actually have that experience? So, you know, you can't blame Timothy for the fact that he doesn't know what he was doing. Jennifer said he doesn't know what he's doing. The father says, okay, you're going to be washing off the cows, yeah? And they gave him this spray thing. He said he looked like the Ghostbusters. They gave him this spray thing. I guess probably had some chemical in there to help get rid of the bugs off the cows. And he's supposed to be washing them properly. And Timothy's trying to do what he can do, and you know, he's like, how do I know when I'm done? And Jennifer is like, when they're all clean. It's like, okay, that's not really a good answer. You know, how do I know that they're all clean? So he's there washing, and then, you know, Jennifer is kind of laughing. She says, you know, he doesn't know one thing that he's doing, obviously, but she was still impressed about the fact that he gave it a try, and you know, he was making an effort. And so, yeah, I finished doing that, and then they were holding a cow down, apparently. Yeah, it was a cow, a male cow down to castrate him. And they were like, would you like to, you know, cut the cow's balls? And he's like, or penis, was it? And he's, yeah, castrated, cut the cow's penis. And he's like, no, thanks, not this time, maybe next time, yeah? It's like, who asked somebody to do that? So I don't even know if that proves anything, because I know a lot of men who are manly men, and you know, maybe they wouldn't necessarily want to be cutting a cow's penis the first time. That's not something that doesn't prove that you're a man. So, whatever. So yeah, so they're finished doing all of that, and you know, he and the dad were talking a bit, and you know, it's like, okay, what's your intention with Jennifer, and so on and so forth. You know, the dad was trying to get a feel of him, and then after the dad spoke with Jennifer, and she, you know, he was telling her that, you know, he's not sure if they're the right pair, because he doesn't really seem, you know, he's an American man, and he doesn't really seem, you know, like the person who can take charge of things or so. But you know what, you know, the daughter can decide for herself, and if she wants to give it a shot, she can go ahead. He was just telling her to be careful because of the fact that she was married before, and the previous husband, who is a Latino man, turned out to be not so good for her, and they got divorced. And so the dad was just telling her to be careful with her heart, and you know, who she's choosing. And so I think because of this, you know, Jennifer is like, okay, you know, initially I when I met Tim online, yeah, the person I was attracted to is not really the person I'm meeting right now because of how he's been behaving. And you know, when she said that, I was like, you were attracted to him when you first met him online and you guys were talking, because initially when they went to Colombia and they were interviewing her, you know, she was like, you know, he's not her type, she's not attracted to him, but you know, obviously seems like a guy who has his shit together basically, and is able to take care of her, and he has a few things. He has his own house and a nice car and etc. Yeah, so we knew in the beginning that she wasn't really interested in him, but she's interested in the security, the possible security that he could offer, and the fact that he had some money. So I don't know what she's talking about now, about the fact that, you know, the person she was initially attracted to, you know, she's not sure about that. I'm not really sure how that's different. Everything is the same. He still has that house, he still has his car, and he still has his nice sports car, and luxury car, sorry. And he still has money, or you know, he's still making money. So it's the same Tim, same person, just as feminine. Everything is the same. You know, he's not making the kind of moves that she wants, but all the security that she was after in the beginning, still that's the same. But you could see that she was like, you know what, I'm gonna give him a chance, because you know, the last guy I dated was like a macho Latina guy, and they're very romantic and sweep you off your feet and all this thing. And you know, Tim is obviously not that kind of guy, but maybe that's what she needs, somebody who's a bit more responsible, and completely different. Yeah. So basically, after that, they went to get some ice cream. They went to this dessert place. Yeah, apparently it's a popular dessert place in her part of Colombia. So she took Tim there, and they're having ice cream. And you know, she's like, you know, I'm still waiting for Tim to make a move. Yeah, because he's yet to do anything to impress me. He's still not made any moves whatsoever. And so Jennifer, they're talking, and you know, Tim is telling her how much he's telling her now that he loves her, and you know, he's really into her even more now, and he's really attracted to her, and he loves her. You know, he's still a bit afraid because he doesn't want to get hurt, and he doesn't want her to be hurt because of her previous experience. Yeah, and Jennifer, the whole time he's talking, Jennifer is, you know, in his face, basically like half an inch from his face, like, you know, while he's talking, and she's like in his face, you know, trying to seduce him, trying to get him to make a move. Yeah, she's trying to make it very easy for him. And Tim is there the whole time just talking, and you know, it's like, okay. And I guess he eventually picked up on it that, okay, you know, she's basically she's basically falling on my lips now. Yeah, the only thing I need to do is just to make a small nod and do something. So eventually Tim, you know, finally Tim kissed Jennifer after being there for, how long has it been? Is it like, what, 3 days, 4 days? I don't know. He's finally made a romantic move, and he kissed Jennifer, and they both kissed, and she liked it. Yeah, or you know, I think it was just like, she was just like, it's finally happening, he finally kissed me. Yeah, there's some romantic interest here. And Tim said, you know, he felt the chemistry, and it was an amazing kiss. Or what was it, what did he say? It was so magical. It was a magical kiss. And so he's glad he finally did it, and it was really worth the wait. I'm like, okay. Sounding like a... Anyways. So yeah, they finally kissed, guys. So in the later on in the night, you know, they're back at the apartment or they're rented their Airbnb, whatever it was. And so, you know, Jennifer is like, okay, so what are we going to be doing now? Because she's thinking like, okay, we finally made that case, you know, maybe we can do something else. And yeah, Tim is there, is like, you know, we could change into our pajamas and then, you know, just lie in bed and relax and cuddle. Yeah, I think we could do that. And she's like, okay, yeah, nothing more. Yeah, Tim is like, you know, we can just see what happens, you know, just lie in the bed and cuddle. But that's as far as his head was thinking, you know. Tim is like trying to take things as slow as possible. He's still trying to tell Jennifer and convincing us that he's trying not to be hurt. Yeah, and he's being cautious as a result, and he doesn't want to move too fast into things and, you know, end up being hurt again and all this hurt thing, you know. That previous girlfriend from Colombia, I don't know if she's the one, but, you know, must have done him really, really dirty, because Tim is just behaving like such a coward. I mean, yes, men are emotional creatures too, not as much as women, and they do have feelings, yeah. But if you weren't ready to be dating somebody, I mean, why were you even on the website that you met her on in the first place? Why have you been talking all this time if you weren't in that place to be dating somebody new? So anyways, they went in the bed, and eventually, you know, Jennifer is like, so do you think we can go to second base now? And I'm like, this is so juvenile. You know, can we go to second base now? And Tim is like talking. He just keeps talking. He's like, okay, what's your idea of second base? I don't know what's second base in Colombia. And she's like, you know, we could like touch each other and blah, blah, blah. And she whispered something to him, you know, and he's like talking over and over. You know, he was just doing too much talking. And eventually, you know, I don't know what happened. I guess he eventually got a hard on, and he's like, okay, to the camera guys, you guys, goodbye. It's time to go. Bye. And so Tim closed the door. So we'll hear the next episode if they actually close the deal, yeah, or what happened. So next couple is Angela. Let's talk about Angela and Michael. So after all the excitement from the previous episode, you know, Angela putting cake in Michael's face and everything, and Michael was like, you know, this is the worst she's ever done. I couldn't believe she did this, and you know, I'm starting to think that she really means it now, and things are over. But of course, things not over. You know, Angela not giving up our African guy. So, you know, we start off with her. She's like, you know, I mean, I'm really tired of this mess with Michael and always fighting, and of him always telling me lies. You know, I'm really tired of it. But what I did with the whole cake thing, that was a bit too much, yeah? That was a bit too much, and he doesn't deserve that, you know. Yeah, you know, it was actually good to hear her say that. You know, I don't know how she actually came to her senses with that, but it's good to hear her actually saying, you know, what I did was wrong, and that's really not necessary. And so Michael is in his vehicle, and he gets a call from Angela. You know, he's kind of surprised about that, and she's like, you know, can you meet me? And so he rushes to the hotel, and they're sitting down together, and you know, she's like, she apologized for actually caking his face and saying that, you know, she was really upset, and yes, she's tired of him lying and everything, but you know, that was just too much, and she's sorry about what she did. And Michael's like, you know, okay, I understand. And if they're to move forward, that's something she had to do, and Michael accepted her apology. And she's like, you know, but you know, if we're to move forward, you need to stop lying to me. This has to end. You know, we cannot be constantly fighting all the time, you know, about you lying to me and everything. It's, you know, it's not okay. And I'm not going to keep doing this. And the next time this happens, there won't be there won't be another chance. So, yeah. So, Michael and Angela are basically back on good terms. So, at this point now, you know, after Angela is going with Michael to, you know, see his mom again, because they've met before. Remember the scene where the mom cooked something, the mom and the aunt cooked something for her to eat, and she, you know, basically took a taste of it and didn't like it, and basically kissed Michael and told him, hey babe, eat this. That was so disgusting. But anyways, they're going back to meet his mom, and you know, they're like really, you know, mom and Angela are having a moment. And so, mom is like, how have you been? How are things? And, Angela is like, we actually had a falling out the first couple days. And, actually told him I didn't want him around my hotel and actually kicked him out. Yeah, because, and the mom was like, oh no, Michael, what happened now? What did you do? So, she's like, because he keeps lying to me. And she's like, mom is like, oh no, you can lie to everybody else. Yeah, you can tell everybody else lies, but don't lie to your woman, don't lie to your wife. Yeah, to be. So, Michael is interpreting and everything. So then, mom got that out of the way. She gave him a few little gems, about, how to be treating his wife to be, and, he needs to take care of her and be honest with her. And, mom was quickly like, okay, so, yeah, the most important thing, or the next important thing on the list is babies. Yeah, how are you guys? What's gonna happen with babies? Because Africans, Nigerians, having children and having a couple kids around and passing down your name and your legacy and all of the tradition and all, it's important. So you guys need to have kids. So what's gonna happen with that? Sandra is like, well, there are ways, and I've asked my daughter to actually carry the baby for me, if anything, or carry the eggs. One way or the other, we'll be able to probably make this happen. So the mom was like, Michael, I think, translated some of it to her, and she heard something like daughter, and she's like, oh, you're going to be sleeping with the daughter, yeah? And and Angela is like, no, and Michael's like, no, yeah. Even Michael was like, no, that's disgusting. Sleeping with her daughter, that's crazy. So mom is like, okay, so how is this gonna happen? Because as far as she's concerned, Angela is an old woman. She's 50 something, yeah. And mom, being an older woman as well, knows that it's only like a miracle from Jesus himself that would cause Angela or any woman in her 50s. I mean, it's happened, but these days you had instances of women in their 50s having babies. But her point is it's really unlikely that Angela is going to be the one carrying this child. So she's like, what are you going to do then if the plan doesn't work out with your daughter? And Angela is like, there are ways to do it. There are medical ways, we'll figure it out. And the mom is like, maybe you could get another woman to do it with, sleep with Michael, and you guys can have a baby that way. And she's like, people do that, couples do that in Nigeria all the time. And actually, I've heard of this happening in Jamaica a couple times, where the woman is unable to have children, or sometimes it's the man who's unable to have children. And you may have a couple that actually agrees to that, or it might be that one of the pair actually steps out of the marriage and has a child. And so she's like, these things happen in Nigeria. Are you gonna be doing something like that? So Michael, is interpreting it to Angela, and Angela is like, no way, hell no. Yeah, he's like, sleeping with somebody else to have a child. And Michael's like, yeah, people do it in Nigeria all this time. And Angela is reminding him, like she's done many times, I'm not Nigerian, there's no way in hell that is happening. Yeah. And Angela is letting us know that there's no way in hell she's going to allow Michael to sleep with another woman to have a baby. Yeah, that is not going to work. And if he ever thinks of coming over there and doing that, in fact, she's not raising anybody else's child that she did not carry herself, or is not coming from her, basically that she didn't have a hand in. So, she's like telling the mom that, Michael is letting her know that the mom is not too happy to hear about that, because the mom wants to know that her son can have she can have a grandson, basically. And Angela's like, let her know I'm not happy either, yeah? I'm not Nigerian, and I do not approve of that, and it's not gonna be happening, yeah? There are a lot of couples who are unable to have children, and they stay together, they don't get up and leave each other or whatever. So, no way in hell am I supporting that. So Michael, is letting us know that, basically having a child is an important thing for him and his family and his mom. And it's even more important than being able to go to the US and living in the US. And the fact is, Angela had spoken about this, and if Angela wants to make him happy, this is something she's going to have to consider. They're gonna you have to consider him, one way or the other of them having a child. So maybe she'll do something like that for him. So I don't know if Michael is if, and Angela is kind of appalled that Michael is actually thinking about the fact that she, he could sleep with somebody else to have a child. And yeah, I'm basically appalled too. Yeah. I'm like, if it doesn't work out the way that they had planned it to work out with her daughter or somebody else being a surrogate, then there's no way that Michael is supposed to be sleeping with somebody else to have a child. And this is something they need to decide before, because it's not fair to Michael either. If this is what he really wants and this is okay with him, he needs to be with somebody who is okay with that. And Angela is not okay with it. Yeah. So they need to, this is something they need to hash out before he even goes to the US. Angela says that she's currently filing for his visa, that the process has started. So they need to know what they're going to be doing. Yeah. Anyways, the next couple is Avery and Omar. So the last episode, Avery's mom had, basically said something that really upset Avery. She was, asking her if she has really questioned Omar's intentions for marrying her. Why is it that, why was it that he met her on the website and, he chose her of all people and they're here now and planning to get married? Why is it that, has she questioned his intention? Is it that he's trying to get to the US and trying to, because he's living in a war-torn country and most people are trying to get to the US, and this is the easiest way to do it. And Avery was really upset about that, because she's like, by now her mom should know that Omar has serious intentions for her and that he, and either way, this is something she's going to do. So she was very upset about that. And now it's the morning and mom is supposed to be leaving at the end of that day in the night. She's supposed to be heading back to the US. And they're supposed to be getting married that day as well. I think in the morning, about 11 o'clock or something. Or in the afternoon, whatever. They're supposed to be getting married right before the mom goes away. Yeah. So mom went to talk to Avery because she wants to make everything okay again. She doesn't want to have Avery upset with her on this last day that she's supposed to be leaving. So she goes to Avery and, she tries to make amends. She apologizes for what she said about Omar. And Avery, is like, okay. And she's like, the thing is, you're my priority. You're my child, you're my priority. And Avery lets mom know that, yeah, but you're not my priority anymore. Omar is now my priority. And I'm going to be defending him against anybody or what anybody has to say. And that includes you. Yeah. So she's letting mom know that he's her priority now, and she will not stand for mom questioning anything about Omar. So mom is like, okay, yeah. So Omar comes to their room and it's like, okay, everybody's like, we're getting ready for today, and Omar's like, well, we have one more hitch. We can't get married because as yet, until we've gotten the approval of the Islamic court. So, mom and Avery's like, okay, so, we're supposed to be getting married today, and this is when we're finding this out. He's like, yeah, Omar didn't know this apparently, or so he says. So mom is, again, in the opportunity, in the position to be the savior of the day. And mom is like, okay, all right, so we need their approval. Let's get this thing done. So they're like rushing like crazy across town to get to the Islamic court. They got there, apparently they're supposed to be closing in an hour's time or 2 hours time or something. And Avery's saying that they have so many forms to fill out, she doesn't even know if they'll be able to do this. But of course, we know this is all for dramatics. And they got the approval of the Islamic court, and so they're rushing off to get to the mosque for the ceremony. So they did all that, Avery got all dressed up, got all dolled up in her bridal gown, in the halal fashion, is it? The acceptable fashion of the Muslim woman to be covered. Looking beautiful and all, and even mom was well covered. Omar is all dressed up and everything in a traditional suit. Yeah. And they head to the mosque, and as soon as they're getting out of the car and they're outside of the mosque, an elder, I guess these are the elders, and a man came over to Avery, and he had like a special robe for Avery, a special brown robe, a hoodie robe, And she had to put that over her wedding dress, and mom was kind of like confused, and so was Avery. She's like, I wish I'd known this before, that I had to wear another this plain or this robe over my wedding dress, because she went to lengths to get a nice wedding dress that was acceptable, and also that she felt was flattering and had the glitz and everything of a bride or a princess bride, and now she has to have it covered. So it's fine anyways, because Avery's little by little accepting every little thing. So they went inside the mosque, and they're getting ready, and they're asking about witnesses, and mom is like, I'll be her witness, and the men are like, no, I think the priests and the elders are like, no, you can't be a witness. And the Mar's like, Avery's mom is like, why can't I be a witness? And the Mar turned to her and said, you can't, because the men had said this, and he's like, it has to be 2 men, 2 women, or 1 man. Yeah. So basically, 2 women have to be a witness as one to make 1 man, or a man can be a witness. And since as Avery's mom is the only other woman there, the elder is going to witness for her. So Avery's mom was not pleased about this at all. She's like, I would want to be a part of my daughter's ceremony and witness her wedding, witness for her wedding, and now I'm being told, they're saying that two women is equal to a man. She's lucky they never said 5, because I was surprised that they allowed 2 women to be able to sign as witness. I guess maybe this is for a wedding ceremony. I'm sure for other contracts and other agreements, it's not the same. But anyways, mommy wasn't too pleased about this, and she was looking at Avery kind of like, don't you see what's happening? Is this okay with you? And Avery's like, it's fine. Omar's like, it's fine, and Avery's like, it's fine. So the men, after this, the men, Omar and the priest, the men are over to the side conducting the ceremony, basically, because Avery was not a part of it. She was sitting with her mom while the men conducted all the signings and all the other part of the ceremony. And then it was after, it's like, okay, you're now married. It's like, okay, yeah, great, you're now my husband. And mom was just not too happy, because she was in the mosque even making comments about, I feel like I'm selling my daughter, and the priest overheard and was looking, and Avery was like so upset. She's like, I don't want my mom is in here with her ignorant self talking about, selling me and being offensive, they could kick us out. But anyways, Avery is determined to do what she wants to do. And so now they're married, and mom is like, mom is concerned, because she's like, I'm really shocked that Avery has no problem with the fact that 2 women equal a man in signing for the ceremony. She's saying it's okay now, but I'd like to see in a year's time if she'll be okay with this. And I'm also curious in a year's time, because Avery has been little by little accepting everything, and it's like, yes, this is fine, and mom was like, this is what you're signing up for now. And Avery's like, I know, and thank God. Yeah, kind of like, yeah. She's being so rude to her mom, I mean, I know she's determined to do what she wants to do regardless, but I mean, I think she's just being a bit too inconsiderate. She's just been a bit mean to her mom the whole time. And yeah, so after the ceremony, they're going out for they're back to their hotel, and they're having dinner before mom leaves, because she's supposed to be getting to the airport, and they're having their last little meal. And Avery decides that now it's time to tell her mom about her plans to go to Syria to live. And Avery was just being so inconsiderate the whole time. I mean, it's not bad. She's like, I don't want my mom to be worried all the way back on her flight, but I'm gonna tell her that what my plans are. So mom is around the table, and Omar is in on this whole thing as well. So Avery's like, so after I come back to the States and I file for his thing, during the waiting period, I'm going to be coming back here, and then I'm going to be traveling with his sister to Syria to and I'm going to be staying with him until things are finalized and approved. And mom is like in shock. She's like, it's just unbelievable. And she's looking at Omar, you knew this all along. And he's just there looking all this kind of cocky. He has this kind of cocky attitude, like I guess maybe he's not feeling the mom because of the fact that she has a lot of issues about his belief and his religion, and this is kind of a way for him to like suck it in her face, like, okay, whatever. Yeah. So, he was like smiling or kind of like had this, look on his face like, yeah, I'm getting, oops, sorry. Yeah, your daughter's going to do what she's coming to stay with me, and I know this doesn't make you happy, but I don't care. And mom is like in tears, she's like, Avery, what are you talking about? Yeah. Why would you want to be going there? The place is unstable, anything could happen, things are uncertain. Why do you want to do this? And Avery's like, I'm gonna do what I want to do anyways, kind of, I'm gonna do it anyways. That's her attitude. I don't care how you feel about it or whatever, I'm gonna do it anyways. Instead of saying, mom, I understand how you feel, I understand your concerns, yeah, and I'm really, I love you and I know you're concerned about me, but don't be, I'll be fine with Omar. It's not as bad as, and I'll keep in touch with you, or I'll let you know what is happening. Try to calm her mom down, alleviate her fear, be a bit considerate. She was being just a real bitch. So anyways, mom is really upset about this whole thing, and she's like, I'm leaving. And mom gets up, she's going to be catching her flight. And Avery sends Omar after her. So we'll find out next episode what happens. The next couple is Akini and Benjamin. So Benjamin has been informed that there's another chance to meet Akini's dad, but Akini's dad is being real manipulative. He's like, okay, if you want to meet me this time, there's another chance, but you have to come to church, because apparently Akini's father is a pastor. Yeah, we didn't know this before, but now we know. Akini's father is a Kenyan pastor. Nobody mentioned this the whole time. And so, Benjamin is a bit nervous. He's like, okay, this is the last chance to meet her dad and to get his approval. Otherwise, we can't go along with this relationship or even get married. I can't even propose to her. And so, he's like, I hope that the fact that I'm a church-going man and I'm also studying for to be a minister will add some points and will impress him a bit. So we're going to church basically, yeah, and the typical excitement, the loud noise and the whole as you'd expect in because this is not America, yeah. And even in America, I know you have some churches that but it's just a different thing. And we had that experience with Benjamin. And so Akini is letting us, because when we're going to church now, the women have to be sitting on one side and the men sit on the other side. So Akini is, that's some real Old Testament tradition there, guys, yeah? Because, I've been to church for weddings, but I haven't been to, and, yeah. The last time I've been to church, yeah, even coming from a church where you have a lot of strict rules, you didn't have the men and women being separated. So that is some real Old Testament thing, where they're like, Akini is like, the men and women are separated because of hormones, yeah? It's like, okay. So they're still of this idea that men and women can't mix because, either the men can't control themselves, or what's the issue? Or the women can't control, whatever. So we're at church with these guys, and, basically church is over. Benjamin meets the dad. And then Akini is springing it on Benjamin that, okay, this is not the final thing. You're going to come home with my dad and talk a bit, which he knew about. But you're also going to have to meet the church elders. They're going to have to approve of this relationship, yeah? If they don't approve, then it doesn't matter what my father or my mom says. We cannot. This isn't going to happen. So, Benjamin is kind of like, I wish Akini would just give me a play-by-play in advance of what's going to be happening, instead of springing things on the last minute. So they went home, and Benjamin is there with the dad, the brother is beside him, Akini is in the same room, mommy is there sitting down, kind of mom's reaction, Akini's mom's reaction just kills me. She's like such a comedian that she doesn't even know. She's like sitting in the corner, and her expression like she's there with her eyes wide open, looking serious at some point, and then like it's kind of like she had the funniest expressions. I probably didn't get it right, but she had the funniest expressions the whole time. And so, Akini's dad is telling, or Benjamin's brother, Akini's brother is telling Benjamin how this whole thing works. The dad is saying that the elders in the church in our society are very important figures, yeah, and they have to be in support of this union, because as as the closest connection between God and a king, or God and the regular person, which is the church fold, they're basically the spiritual guiders, and so their permission is important, and it doesn't matter whether the dad or mom agrees. If they don't agree, that at the end of the day, their approval is the important thing. So they're like, okay, introduce yourself, Benjamin. So Benjamin is like, well, okay, so I'm Benjamin, so I'm 33 years old, from the United States, and I'm from Phoenix, Phoenix, Arizona, and yeah, this is my first time in Nigeria, in Kenya, and it's been a wonderful experience. The people have been so kind and so hospitable, and all of that. Is trying to butter things up. So everybody's like sitting there looking at him. Okay, in for the serious question. So the first man is like, okay, so you are coming from America, where there are a lot of beautiful women. Why are you here? He's basically like, you came all the way from America to Kenya to be with an African woman. You're a white man. Why have you left all that way, where you have so many beautiful American women, to come and be with somebody else who's of a different race, basically different culture? And Benjamin is like, Akini has been a godsend, and yeah, this is the person he wants to be with. And so the lady comes in now, she's like, okay, so marriage is a very important thing, yeah, and it's for life. Have you ever been engaged or married before? So mommy's sitting down in the background looking now like, and then Benjamin is like, yes, I've been married before. And then mommy's expression is like, no. So Benjamin is like, yes, I've been married before, and it didn't work out. We got divorced, and he had to, he went in a little further to say that it was his wife's idea to have the divorce, because he really wanted it to work, and he tried to do everything to go to counseling, but the wife didn't want to continue with the relationship. So he had, no choice. So, they're like, okay, wow, you've been divorced before. This is a serious matter. Yeah. But the elders, took him out of his misery quite quickly, and they're like, you know what? You seem, based on what he said, you seem like, because he said something about, I think the important thing is, which is the best thing you say to a group of church people, yeah, church pastor and elders, important thing is to have Christ in the middle, and nothing will, once everything is Christ-centered, and we're both Christ-centered, blah, 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 blah. So that was the selling point, yeah, that was the best finishing argument. So they're like, you know what, we support this, yeah, you have our permission. And the dad was like, I'm not too happy about the whole thing about you being married before and so, but for now, I'm okay with it, and I will give my permission. So everybody's like, elders are like, okay, it is in the Bible where Abraham's son Isaac wanted to marry, who was it, Rebecca? And so, an important part of the, is that Abraham, Isaac's family all came up with all these, a lot of gold, a lot of jewelry, priceless, very expensive jewelry, because the dad was like, very expensive jewelry, yeah, to woo Rebecca and her family, and to give her family as gift, to show that he, really wanted to be with Rebecca, and how important she was to him. And the father was like, if Akini is really that important to him, he will show this to us, and he will have a good bride price ready. So of course, Benjamin is nervous about this whole thing, and Akini is letting us know that it doesn't matter if he goes broke at the end of it, he needs to come up with something. Yeah, he needs to come up with a good bride price. So we'll see how that goes. The next couple is Darcey and Tom, right? So Darcey and Tom are back at their hotel room, and or wherever they're staying. And Tom is like really over it. He's bored, He didn't want to be in Albania in the first place, but he decided to go along. Darcey dragged him, and he decided to go along. And he's not happy because, the last outing he had with the sister and everybody, he said it was really uncomfortable. It was really uncomfortable. We were uncomfortable watching, guys. And he was talking about the fact that, this whole back and forth with her and her sister. You know, he didn't sign up for this. He didn't come all the way. He didn't cancel his trip. Yeah, leave the comforts of London to come to Albania, where he didn't want to come to in the first place, to come and deal with this mess with the sister. So Darcey needs to go and talk to her sister and fix this whole thing, because he doesn't want to have to deal with this for the rest of the trip. It's uncomfortable for him, and it's uncomfortable for the Stacey's boyfriend. Forgot his name, Florian. So Darcey's like, you know, because when he brought up to Darcey, and you know, he was like, you know, that's not good. And Darcey's like, yeah, my sister is very immature. She's always been immature. And you know, we're like all looking at Darcey like, really, Darcey? Really? And Tom is looking at her like, yeah, you're both acting immature. And Darcey's like looking at him like, okay, I'm sorry. Like she's never heard this before. Or she doesn't know this. Maybe she doesn't. You know, we all know Darcey is living in denial. So Darcey went to go sit with to have breakfast or whatever with her sister. You know, and the sister, you know, she's like, how is it going? And you know, it's like, it's okay. It's just that you know, the little the little back and forth, you know, that we have, or we normally have, you know, that's something we've always done. But apparently, you know, it's not always other people looking in or being around us. It's they don't understand it, and so, you know, we need to tone down on that a bit. You need to kind of tone down on that a bit. And the sister's like, I don't see anything wrong with her little bickering. You know, it's something we do. And did Tom say something? And Darcey's like, well, not really. It's just that it's a bit awkward, you know, having to be around all this thing, you know. And the sister's like, you know, and this is the first time I'm like, you know, Stacey's not really common sense one, but Stacey's kind of in denial, like, you know, there's no problem with our interaction. Yeah, I mean, it's something we always do, you know, we're always a bit competitive and everything. So, you know, Tom is just complaining. I think he's just trying to find something to complain about, because maybe he wants out. You know, you have a tendency of finding men who are always saying you're the problem. Yeah, and maybe for once you need to find somebody like me, you know, somebody who is good to you, and you know, a decent guy, a guy who, you know. And I'm like, Stacey, that's just taking it too far. Yeah, we know Darcey has a problem with choosing the wrong man, but I mean, any guy would have had a problem with that interaction that they had to witness. Any guy would have been uncomfortable around it. Would all guys say something? Maybe not. Some guys would be like, you know, okay, I just have one more day on this trip, I'll just take it and just clear out of here and, you know, get rid of this woman. But nobody would be comfortable around what just took place. So she's throwing it on, you know, on the fact that Tom is just trying to find an excuse so that he can slowly weave himself out and, you know, come up with something or some problem that it's Darcey's fault when he's ready to call it quits, basically. And I was like, that's a bit mean, you know, for Stacey to be saying. You know, she's like, you need to take my advice for once and, you know, choose better men. And, you know, Darcey's like, you know, yeah, but you don't, your relationship is not perfect with Florian, yeah? And, you know, you guys had problems in the beginning, and, you know, Stacey's like, I know, you know, we've had problems, and, you know, no relationship is perfect, but we're working on it. And Darcey's like, you know, you guys, you know, we're trying to take things slow and work on the relationship. And Darcey's like, slow? He proposed to you right the first time you met, you got a proposal from him. And Stacey's like, yes, I know, but the thing is, we're still not married. We're still engaged, and we're still, you know, getting to know each other and figuring things out, you know. So Darcey's trying to, it's kind of like tit for tat. It's like, your relationship isn't perfect either, so you can't give me advice on relationship. So anyways, the next thing is they're taking another trip out, yeah? And so they're back in this little buggy, this van, as Tom call this, what did he call it? In the UK, they call it like a war van, whatever it was. But basically, this van has, apparently the windows can't go down too much, yeah? So Tom is in there, and he's hot as hell. And, you know, typical Darcey's all over Tom all the time, you know, up in his space. And, you know, Tom is like, listen, not now, you know, I'm feeling very upset. And Darcey's like peckering around him like a mother hen, you know, like, okay, taking off his jacket and, okay, babe. She's like up in his face. And, you know, the sister, you know, they're like, the sister and Tom is like, can you just back off a bit? And the sister's like, yeah, give him some space, Darcey. Just leave him alone. Give him a little space. Because, you know, and she's like saying to Florian, when I'm like that, I don't want anyone around me either. I want to have my space. And Darcey's like upset now and looking at her sister like, okay, I get it, guys, I get it. So immature. So at this point, Florian asked the driver to pull over a bit so that they can get some fresh air because, Tom is feeling a bit nauseated in the van. And so, yeah, they're taking a trip to this market or flow market or, flea market, local flea market. And, Tom is telling us that, he feels like he's on a trip with a group of friends because he's not really been able to have any romantic time with Darcey. And he's always around the sister and the boyfriend, and it's just, that's what it is. And yet Darcey has been saying that they haven't been intimate the whole time they've been there. And so while they're there, he whisks Darcey off for a bit, and they went to have a little drink, and he's like, yeah, this is what this trip is like for me. It's like I'm, hanging on a bunch of friends. It's not romantic for me, because this is not what I had planned, This is not my plan to be. And personally, when Darcey was talking about going to meet her sister in Albania so that she can meet but I didn't think that was necessary either. I was like, why? You're just meeting this man for the first time, yeah? You haven't even spent 2 days good, and you're making plans to go meet your sister and her boyfriend in another country instead of the plans that you guys have. Get to know the man first, and if things are going well, I absolutely saw no reason for Darcey to be taking this man to go and meet her sister. Just because her sister, put the idea in that, okay, let me meet this guy to make sure he's right for you, because, like, obviously, with the relationship that they have, I don't know, but it's complicated, I guess. I don't know why Darcey thought it was a good idea to take Tom to go meet her sister so soon. So Tom is like letting her know that, he's glad he came, and, the trip is okay, but, ideally, the plans he had, he would have preferred to do that. And, he's letting Darcey know that, had they gone to the Grand Canary, because his parents actually got engaged there, because Darcey's telling him that she had hoped that in coming to Albania with her, it would have created a nice vibe, and, made him, feel more for her. And he's like, no, it's doing the opposite, because, it feels like I'm glad I came because I got to see this other side of you with your sister, your interaction with your sister. And, yes, it makes me think that, okay, you can be a good friend to hang out with, but he's not doing anything much for chemistry and for, for us building a connection. And Darcey's like, oh, I'm sorry, And Tom, which I think this was like a cruel thing for Tom to pull. Tom was like, my parents got engaged in Grand Canary, and it's a beautiful place. It creates a nice vibes, and I had it in my head that had we gone there, would have gotten closer together. It would have been a romantic place, and would be on the whole swings of of this romantic experience together. And I may have, or would have, whatever it was, proposed to you there. And I'm like thinking, really, Tom? Really? You'd have proposed to Darcey there? But anyways, Darcey's following this up, and she's like, really? And it's like the worst thing you could say to a person like Darcey. Yeah, because that's all she's wanted from Tom the whole time. She's like, if he could have proposed to her the first day, like her sister's boyfriend or fiance had done, that's what she would have wanted. I know Tom is telling her that it's not happening this way, but if you had come my way, or let's go, if we had gone to Grand Canary instead, you'd have probably gotten a proposal. And Darcey's like, like, she's so upset. She's like, why did I listen to my sister? She's upset about the fact that she listened to her sister and came and went to Albania, and now she lost the opportunity for Tom to propose to her. So, but I think that's a cruel joke on Tom's part, because none of us don't believe that Tom was actually going to propose to Darcey at least, who knows, because, there are questions as to Tom's intentions as well. Apparently he's also an attention whore for the gram and for this whole show and everything. So who knows, maybe he'll do it for ratings or for, interest. But we know he wasn't really feeling Darcey all this time, yeah? So he's making it seem as if it's because they're in Albania, why, he's feeling more of a friendship and not as romantic as, if he had gone to Grand Canary. Who believes that? So anyways, guys, that's my recap. I hope it's not as quick as as before, but that was my recap on 90 Day Fiance season 3 episodes, episode 8, before the 90 days, and I've covered everybody, and you know, we've covered everybody basically. See a preview of the next coming episode, so I'm kind of anxious to see what's about to happen, because I'm trying to find out where are they going with this whole Caesar thing now. Is he actually going to be getting to the Ukraine, or are they just baiting us up for the next episode to see what is about to happen? Because I'm like, are we still dealing with Caesar? But anyways, I'm talking about him, so I guess we are. So guys, let me know what you think about the episode 8. Yeah, do you think that, you know, Tom was really going to be proposing to Darcey as he said, or this is just like, you know, a way to kind of stick it to her and make her feel like, okay, you know, if this thing doesn't work out, it's your fault, yeah, because you took me here instead of, which, you know, honestly, I mean, that would be a good grounds to say, okay, you know, this isn't really going well because we didn't really build something. Yeah, and it could be blamed on Darcey and her sister, because that was a stupid idea, honestly. I don't know who does that, Darcey. But let me know what you think about that, guys, and let me know what you think about Avery, you know, and how she, you know, what she did to her mom. That was so mean, after everything her mom did to help her to get there and to, you know, be supportive. You know, even though mom says she's gonna do what she wants to do anyways, but mom was being helpful and supportive, and she could have not. And Avery's like kind of like stabbing her in the back with the whole thing of, you know, I'm gonna do what I want to do, I don't care about how you feel. That's basically what she's saying. Sorry, I just think Avery was so mean to her mom, and that was just too much, yeah, too extra. It was not called for. I mean, is this how you treat the woman? What kind of hatred does Avery have for her mom? You know, I think there's some long history with Avery and her mom, and whatever, you know, her past in America was like, where she's trying to basically escape from it and, you know, start a totally new lifestyle, you know, religion, culture, everything, which is completely different from what she's known all this time, and the way she's treating her mom. There's more to this Avery story, you know. I guess eventually we might find out, or maybe not. But I mean, the way she treated her mom, that's how you treat a mom who you really dislike and who's been making your life miserable. So I don't know, I don't get it, yeah. So let me know what you guys think, guys, and yeah, comment below, like my video, share, and subscribe. Bye. Cheers.